Welcome to the Global Supply Chain Marketing Summit.com. I appreciate you being here, and I very much appreciate Sherry Herriman, former Divisional Vice President of Supply Chain for Walmart and Senior Vice President of Logistics and Supply Chain for Academy Sports, being here. Sherry, welcome.
Thank you, Ralph. It's great to be here, and I look forward to participating with you in this event.
Appreciate you very much. So look, these are some marketing professionals. They want to be better at branding and lead generation and content development and online strategy and even earned media. What would you give them as a bit of a teaser or a promo on what you might want to talk about at the summit with your colleagues as well as with them in the audience?
So I think it's important to be able to be concise and understand what your client is their company is facing and what their strategic priorities are, because there are so many options available to us in the logistics industry, and there are so many companies that are looking for solutions coming out of the pandemic and coming out of just various challenges that we're facing in today's industry. And being able to weed through that noise and find the solution that best fits the strategic initiatives of the company today that they can resource is very, very important. It's with so much information out there, how do you get the clarity of what the solution provides and pair it with the strategic needs of the organization is the challenge.
And give this audience some encouragement on why it's important for them to do that lifting, instead of telling folks they can do a multitude of things, which they might be able to do, and that's great, but give them some encouragement on why it's so important for them to understand what you're going through as an executive, what your strategies are, and how they can address that so that you can engage with them on maybe being a solution for what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so it's important because most executives in logistics these days don't have time to do a marketer's job. And we need to make sure that we're prudent on staying relative to the industry of what's available, but also understanding and keeping very focused on what the company is able to resource and needs the best at the right time. Because it's easy to say, hey, I can customize something for an organization. And in many instances, organizations don't need customizations. They need just maybe the experts' collaborative knowledge and expertise, being able to help delineate exactly how their solution can provide the structure that many companies need to be able to leverage the technology and not make it so unique that uniqueness in our industry honestly becomes very, very expensive.
No kidding.
You can leverage what someone else has already done and make that applicable to a company's needs without making it specialized is very, very important. It's leveraging the efficiencies of scale of the rest of the industry, what maybe someone else has gone through.
Right. Yeah. And what you're saying is so powerful. Do what you do well, and then find out who needs that. Do the heavy lifting of finding who needs that, but then make it something that you do well and you can repeat. That's replicable. That's not a one-off or a specialty or what have you, because then everybody benefits, because that way you don't have to make a bunch of changes. You're not doing things that no one else is doing and they're confused with. The final question relates around the whole content development part of marketing and the branding versus lead generation. In the supply chain space, as executives, you guys need a plethora of information that you can then do some research and due diligence on. So let the audience know maybe how they might better look at content development as it relates to a business development initiative versus trying to do lead gen before they really have anything out there that gives you confidence that you can do business with them.
I'm not sure that there's a one size fits all, but what I can say is I think that the more that the experiential of, hey, this is how our product helped a client and
Wow.
they were able to achieve results or successfully traverse whatever challenge that they may have been facing. It's easy to kind of apply it then into your own operational circumstances. It's harder whenever you're talking about a technology that's unproven or it's um, so maybe state of the art that hasn't been tested in the industry to say, okay, hey, now here's how theoretically we can apply it. Honestly, operators want to see how it's been operationalized because that is a simplistic view of, hey, it is driven results, it can drive results, and it's not test and learn and complicated.
Yeah, no, I love that. And we don't, we certainly don't want to discourage the new companies or the new products and services. We understand there has to be a first for everything, and that's wonderful. But I think, Sherry, what you're saying is at some point when you are dealing with some of these more mature companies and there is a obviously a very large application, the two things that I hear from executives like you is how long have you been doing it and who like me have you done it for? So if you've got case studies and content that show this particular prospect or potential partner who you have done it with and it's in the industry and it's of the size, then all of a sudden you start to get more trust with those people pre-engagement on trying to do a project. Is that right?
Exactly. And I think it's key because I love innovation and I love groundbreaking thought processes and technology. Um, if you're in the innovative space, you just have to be able to say what has driven that change,
Mm.
and what has driven that new thought process. Because minus that, with an industry that, you think about logistics, fairly basic. You have product that starts at an origin and then goes to a final destination with a few stop offs in between. The more efficiently that you can do that and leverage the technology, whether it's innovative or it's been something that's been in the industry for years, that's what I'd have to encourage anyone has some kind of leading edge technology is what has caused that leading edge technology thought process, and then what has made it different and how do you apply it in today's world.
Perfect. So for anyone watching this, if you want to get more information or if you want to dive into this more, then come to the Global Supply Chain Marketing Summit this June 5 through 7 at the Ritz-Carlton on Amelia Island outside of Jacksonville, Florida. And you can find out all that information at globalsupplychainmarketingsummit.com. Sherry, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Ralph. It was my pleasure.
And
I
for the
look
rest of you, we will see you at the beach.